definitely just started in my fighting career, being that I really just put gloves on in 2016 and then took them off in 2018. But for bare knuckle, I still kind of play around with the thought of going to 125. You see the sport's really growing. It's been coined the fastest growing combat sport ever. And they had a fight last time that was the king of violence. It got me really intrigued thinking, why isn't there a queen of violence? And I want to sign up for that fight. I can only imagine they would make it between me and the only other female that's credible, and bare knuckle Christine Ferreira. So that could be a trilogy fight that's definitely in the making. Ultimately, I want to walk away being a legend. I want to go over to Thailand. I want to fix that and make sure I'm the only 115 champ in the world. Still kind of salty with the fact that there's a Thailand champ. So want to go out there and make that settled and right and not for discussion. And then really just walk away 5-time champ. But I'm sure once I'm the 5-time champ, I could be sitting here saying 7 sounds good too. So if you're going to ask me what my favorite food is, it's going to be quiche. Now, if you ask me what my favorite food is, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's still going to be quiche. Because it's egg in pie form. You can have it anytime, which is why it makes it amazing. So if I had to think that there's one person on my team that I can go to and always know that they have my back and have the perfect thing to say, some of my first boxing coach, Marcus Luck, he lives in Virginia. He's from Danville. And he was my first boxing coach. We've gone through a lot of wars together. We've done a lot of fights together, including my last one. And he's been at all my title fights. But I just remember, way back in the day, again, when I was like on the streets and really going through rock bottom life. And I would say, I have this fight offer, da-da-da-da-da. What do you think? He'd always look at me and be like, Britt, you want it because you think you can win, or do you need money? And it would just be that he just kept it real. And I'd look at him and I'd be like, well, both, honestly. And he'd be like, yeah, that girl sucks. You're just going to go dog her, da-da-da. And, the girl was actually pretty good. But he was really good just getting in my mind, like, hey, she's just a name. She's nothing. Once he found out kind of my motive, I've been upset. And sometimes we say things out of anger. We say things because we're hurt. We say things because we're scared. And it's definitely can be like, I'm guilty of it. What they say, self-projection. And so sometimes I've done that to my coach, and he's always been super great at realizing that and letting me, some people get offended and they'll turn your back and saying, oh, you call me this? Oh, you don't like this? Well, fine, leave. And he'll be like, you know what, Britt? Don't make me kick your ass. I love you. Go over there and think about what you just said. Mm-hmm. And I was just really humbled by that response on just loving someone and always knowing what to say. Even if I don't say the right thing, I know he'll guide me to it. I've called him so many times with my heart being broken and the fact that I'm here training in Florida. I feel like I'm kind of a runaway from my home just based on everything that had happened to me in the past. Like, am I really doing the right thing? And I'll call him and he'll be like, look, Britt, that's what you need to do. We don't want people to just stay and be in the sinkhole. We want to see you go and live your dreams. Go travel the world. Be the best you can. And by you doing that, so it makes me happy. He says, you're like my prodigy daughter, like kind of like living vicariously. Not saying that he didn't, but he made the choice to stay there and be a hero to a community that really needed one, where he had the potential to be this awesome athlete, amazing boxer, and he didn't really get to do that. And so me going out and doing all this, it really makes me feel like someone's truly happy for me and knows how to tell me to go, bitch up. So my last fight against Melanie Shaw was huge. Not only was I a main event, but it was a viral moment. I knocked her tooth out, and, she had this infamous post-fight interview that went viral and hit the world.
That she was maybe a lot tougher than I was expecting. Although I expected her to be tough, I just expected her to maybe show a bit more tiredness.
It was a big moment for me. It was definitely a roller coaster. Funny enough, when it happened, I was so upset that I didn't knock her out. And I was really holding that against myself. And everyone was like, what the heck are you talking about, Britt? You knocked her tooth out. Like, what more do you want? That's better than a knockout. So once I kind of got in that in my head, I was like, yeah, that is better. But I broke my hand during that fight. So it was kind of shattered for me personally until my manager sent me the reel. He said, post this on your Instagram. I said, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be an ass. He goes, no, I'm telling you, you got to do it. I'm like, no. I open my phone, boom, boom, boom. I just see it over and over. I'm like, oh, I'm posting this. So I post the video too. I'm keeping up with it. You know, I think it's funny. You get mixed responses and views on it. Really, I think, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Overall, it's a sport. You sign up for it to do it. The only thing I really have to say is like, man, I feel like she got more famous out of that fight than me because, you know, all the attention was on her. But I'm the girl who did it, so decoded, let you know. But no, it was a super moment. Honestly, again, roller coaster. But I feel like that is helping me cement my legacy. I'm a force to be reckoned with. You know, she was, again, one of those shit talkers during my camp saying that I was underestimating her. And in her interview, she says, well, she's a lot tougher than I expected.
That she was maybe a lot tougher than I was expecting.
So it kind of just makes me feel satisfied, like eat your words, you know. And it's out there for everyone to see. It's a proof. It's not hearsay. It's a recording that shows what you say and do. It could last a lifetime and never be erased. And I feel that's what I'm doing. You will never be able to erase that fight. That's how big it was. And I hope it lands me fighter of the year for 2023. Having this awesome partnership with Lab 111, but we're going to be taking it to Daytona Beach for Bike Week in March. And we have some special surprises planned for that. So make sure you stay tuned to see exactly what we got going on. My preparation going into my fights vary from camp to camp and my opponent who I'm facing, but nonetheless, I always train to be the better version than I was last time, regardless who I'm fighting. I've done a lot of different varieties in my fight camps. I think that's very important for athletes and for people working at home and doing whatever they love and are passionate about. It's always about mixing it up and keeping it different so we don't get that burnout effect. So, for example, my last camp, I actually went to the ocean 3 times a week and went and set a timer and would tread water in the ocean. So it's not like crazy, like I'm running wild sprints, but to a lot of people, treading in the water for an hour can be difficult. For me, I looked at it as kind of mental training, fear training, being that it's in the middle of the ocean and my feet can't touch the ground, surviving those waves. So it's finding those things that kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and working hard, but also smarter. And so that was something big I used in my last fight camp. I've done everything from play racquetball to soccer, basketball, even though I don't think my coaches really like it because they know I don't get paid for that sport and it could be injury. But again, just keeping things fun and knowing that you're doing everything that you possibly can. Every day in my fight camp, I think, what is my opponent doing and how can I do what they do better, faster, and be stronger doing it? My playlists vary between fights. Again, each fight is super personal to me. So if my opponent is talking a lot of crap or stirring stuff up with me, my playlist is definitely like, I'm going to break that bitch down. Kevin Gates, you know, you stupid, I don't mess with you. Like anything that can just get me in that mindset, revenge, and you're going to regret everything you said. Now, if that's not the case, I'm listening to stuff that's like, you know, I was built for it, you know, my life, songs, you know, things from people who were from the streets who made it to the big time, and knowing that I can kind of walk in those footsteps. I get a lot of motivation from my music based on what I'm feeling. You know, rise up, a lot of that, my quote is here to rise. So anything that talks about the phoenix or rising up really hits a special place in my heart. I love Beauty from Ashes. It's a Celine Dion mix from Deadpool. And I listen to that song every day, or not every day, but every morning of my fight since 2018. So that's been my big thing. And part of my ritual for that in my playlist, I love that song when it comes to the day of the fight. But again, you know, Just my last big song was the Gorillaz Feel Good, and I listen to that song every day on repeat. And I do that actually, that's another thing how I prepare for fights. I find a song and I listen to all these different songs during my fight camp. And when I find one that means something to me, that hits my soul and my heart for that particular fight camp, I play that song over and over. Like it will be repeated. So I don't even really necessarily have a playlist if I find that one song and I'll just run to it. I don't care if I have to listen to it 10 times in a row. It means something to me and I need those words drilled in my head over and over and over. And yeah, it varies though for sure. If there's anything I believe the most about myself is that I am truly one of a kind fighter. I don't think there's another fighter that has my story, everything that I've gone through, and my drive in the timeline that I've done it. You know, I've had 22 professional fights as of the end of year of 2023 with 3 belts. And I mean, I'm really not even halfway to my full capability and potential. I know that I think differently. You know, I've gone out and have degrees. I've done this and that. I'm fighting not because I have to. I'm fighting because I want to, if that makes sense. Like more than anything, you know, even money, you know, ego, legacy. It's just sitting at home thinking, what can I do to be the best person and purposeful? And I find that in fighting. And I really mean it. You know, some people talk the talk, but they're not able to walk it. I feel like I've done that. I've been, you know, you see me hashtag Britain's world tour. You see me in Vegas. You see me in Philly. You see me in Virginia. And yeah, it seems really exciting, but there's a lot of work and effort that goes into that. Whether I'm buying the plane tickets, whether I'm taking time for my own family or, you know, my brand or training in the gym, I'm doing it so I can see my family that I left in Virginia, my family that helped me in Vegas, my family that helped me in Philly. And I say family not as in blood because I think that that doesn't make you family. I think the bonds and going through war together and sharing, you know, that shared trauma, that bonds you to people more than anything. And I want to go out there and help those people. Hey, your trauma isn't yours alone. I'm here to make it better. I'm here to help grow you physically and help you to be the healthiest. You know, your body's all working good. Make sure you guys use Warrior Shield, CBD on, you know, just helping being a better athlete, but also up here and knowing that you're not alone and that things are hard and that we can do hard things. It's just the success of showing up. And if I leave my heart in a state, I'm not going to forget about it. I have to take that opportunity to go out there and do that. Now, with that being said, it's helping me grow. It's making me a better person. And it's damn sure making me a better fighter, which sets me apart from every fighter out there because I know I have a full army behind me.